Welcome again to another episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. As a promise to you guys, always. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to go off and do another one from Jukebox from Hell. That's right, this is episode 6. I'm telling you guys, I love you people. I do. Episode 5, the Peter Criss Out of Control episode. So many views within 48 hours for this guy here. Very pleased. Very, very pleased. Had a lot of good positive responses on the YouTube video and privately. I once again thank you guys for watching. And I'm telling you, we're going to keep trying here. We're going to keep growing and growing as best as we can around here. So episode 6, we are going to be dealing and delving into ELO Part 2's Moment of Truth. Got research, of course, here. The research today comes from several different sources. ELOdiscovery.com, which is a great source for ELO and ELO Part 2 history. We also, of course, have Wikipedia and AllMusic. That's where we're going to combine on things today, all right? So, ELO Part 2, Moment of Truth. This was released in October 1994 in the UK, February 95 in the US. This was the second studio album under this moniker. Now, Part 2 was formed in 1989 after Bev Bevan wanted to go see if Jeff Lynne would want to make another ELO album. Unfortunately, that was back in '88, and Jeff, of course, being busy with the Traveling Wilburys and starting to work on his future solo album, Armchair Theater, bunches of different things in the works. So he unfortunately passed. But an agreement was made to disband the original ELO so that in 1989, Part 2 could be formed. So Jeff was also given a percentage of record royalties from the Part 2 releases and also in the agreements. Roy Wood was actually approached, but he declined. So Bev got a mix of old and new members for Part 2. So the first album was released in 1991. It didn't chart in the US, but it got to number 34 in the UK. This second album, Moment of Truth, didn't chart anywhere. 2 singles were released from it, The Power of a Million Lights and Break Down the Walls, but neither of them charted either. So this album was re-released in 2021 and added 4 demos and 2 radio edits. So who's on this particular album per se? Well, of course, Bev Bevan, who we've gone off and mentioned before. He was an ELO member since 1970 to 83, and then 85 and 86. Eric Troyer, who he was originally a session singer and a keyboard player. He also does the keyboards and the singing. Phil Bates, who was in Trickster and Quill and other bands. He does guitar and vocals. You have ELO mainstay Kelly Grukett from 74 to 83 on bass and vocals. Mick Kaminsky 73 to 79 and 81 to 86 on violin. And then lastly, who I'd like to call the glue of ELO Part 2, Lewis Clark, who, going back to 1974 to that classic El Dorado album, he was a conductor and arranger, and then in 81 to 86 he also was a touring member of ELO, also doing those said things. Like I said before, Lewis was the glue to this album and all the other Part 2 stuff and how it makes it sound so well. After this, though, when the band broke up in 2000, in 2001, there was a band called The Orchestra, and they released a CD called No Rewind, which actually had everybody except, well, Bev Bevan and Phil Bates. And some of the members are still there today. So let me go off here and mention, we're going to go down the tracks here. So Moment of Truth Overture. It's a nice bombastic start with shades of 2001 Space Odyssey mixed in. Lewis Clark definitely was a great conductor and arranger, which goes right into track 2, Breaking Down the Walls. Not sure why I don't care for the lead singer's voice on this, but the harmonies and the instrumentation are wonderful. Track 3, Power of a Million Lights. Like I said, this was the first single off of the album. I really like this song, and the way that this song was completely constructed, really, really great. Tracks 4 to 5, you get a lot of musical interludes in this particular CD, okay? There's a total of 18 tracks on here, per se. So track 4/5 is Interlude 3, which is a nice, quick, classical piece into One More Tomorrow. An okay song that seems to be plotting just a little bit on this release. We got track 6, which is Don't Wanna. It's a little fun rock song that kind of sounds like part of my life soundtrack. Seriously, if there was a life soundtrack playlist, Don't Wanna would be on this. Thank you, ELO Part 2. It's definitely different. So check that out. Number 7, Voices. Really digging this song. Nice rock song, a musical call to arms, if you will. We go into track 8, and 9 and 10, which is Interlude 2, Vixen and the Fox. Now, like I said, some quick instrumentals, and then they go to the Fox. Now, the story to the Fox is this. Originally, it was a solo single in 1985 by Kelly Gruckett that he returns on the track with ELO Part 2 Treatment. This is a song about animal cruelty. The animal in this song, the fox, is running from the fox hunters. I get it. It's a really nice song in context that you really don't expect. So kudos to that. Track 11, Love or Money. Eric Troyer on vocals, but so could see Jeff Lynne singing this. I really could. There's like 2 tracks I could see Jeff Lynne on this album singing. Track 12, Blue Violin, which is a nice, quick ELO interlude with Mick Kaminsky on violin. Beautiful little short piece. I think it's like a little over a minute long. Track 13, Whiskey Girls. Really like this song, but it sounds like a Sammy Hagar outtake. Go listen to that and you'll maybe know what I'm talking about. But please, more cowbell and violin. Can never have enough cowbell. Some people out there are like going, oh no. Alright, we go to track 14 to 15, interlude number 1, Twist of the Knife. Nice instrumental into another very cool song that some of this song, it seems like I've heard before somewhere, but I can't put my fingers on it. I might be crazy. Alright, I am crazy. But I really like this song too, along with the harmonies and instrumentation. So, beautiful song there. Track 16, So Glad You Said Goodbye. I know I may sound a little weird here, but I hear slight Night Ranger type elements here, mixed with a little bit of Styx, but that's not bad here. And then we close it out with tracks 17 and 18, which is Underture and The Leaving. Another beautiful classic piece to close out the album. I'm telling you, like I said, thanks to Lewis Clark and the rest of ELO Part 2. Like I said before, 8 of the 18 tracks are instrumental, and they contribute very nicely to this. Now, I kind of interject here. Now, remember, though, when you're checking this album out, in listening to this, have some open ears. Jeff Lynne's not here. He wasn't on the 91 album. He's not on this album, all right? So you have to take this into a different type of attitude here. I know, saying that, I still could hear 2 songs here that Jeff Lynne would have done off of this. This album is quite good. It really, really is. Why this didn't chart here in the US or the UK, I don't know. I could actually have seen this being in the top 40, but I think it was the sign of the times. You're talking 1994 going into 95, that maybe that's why it didn't do so well in the performance-wise. This was the last studio album, like I said before. The band would play their final shows in November 1999, and Bev Bevan in early 2000 would sell his share of the rights to the name ELO to Jeff Lynne, and the rest of the members, like I said, went to the orchestra. In February 1997 in the US, They did release One Night Live in Australia, and that was on CMC International Records. You know, guys, I really wish they would have made a third studio album. This is really good. Go seek this out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So it leads me to say, and I know you're all going, oh boy, what is the next episode of Jukebox from Hell? What is episode 7 of Jukebox from Hell? We're going back to 1987. That's right. We're going back to 1987, and we're going to talk about the Monkees. Ah, are we really? I meant the new Monkees. Oh! Anyways, so on episode 7, we will be talking about the 1987 album, The New Monkees, on Warner Brother Records. That's right. You knew them. You loved... Yeah. I love you guys. And I'll tell you something. Thanks for watching. And of course, always powered by coffee each and every time. Take care. God bless. Rock on. And we'll see you next time.